Canadian Red Cross was founded on October 12, 1896 and incorporated in 1909 when the Canadian Red Cross secured its charter. It was affiliated with the British Red Cross, which was founded in 1870. At first, there really wasn't much for the Canadian Red Cross to do, as it was generally associated with wartime efforts at this time. The world was at peace. However, in 1899, the British Empire went to war in South Africa, known as the Boer War, from 1899 to 1902. This gave the Canadian Red Cross its first chance to fulfill its mandate, to help the sick and wounded in times of war. As the First World War broke out in August 1914, a number of Red Cross branches and auxiliaries were opened. A cable was issued August 21, 1914 to the British Red Cross asking what we, the Canadian Red Cross, could do to help. It was time for action. The first major call to the Red Cross came in 1914. Thousands of soldiers were being killed and injured in the fierce fighting. In November of 1914, Major Waldorf Astor offered part of his estate for use as a hospital to the Canadians, who accepted, and in 1915 the Duchess of Connaught Canadian Red Cross Hospital was established. The Astors were the most powerful and influential of local families. Initially, 106 beds were provided in cubicle-style wards constructed on the covered tennis court. Huts were later added, providing facilities for up to 600 men at a time. The hospital was entirely equipped by the Canadian Red Cross by the Women of Canada, who sent everything from dressing, bandages and linens to pickles, jams, apples and biscuits, whatever they found to be needed. Women who were not participating in the military at this time were actively collecting medical supplies, such as bandages and such. They were knitting socks, scarves, sweaters, visiting soldiers and offering comforts such as books, writing paper, chocolate bars, and the information from loved ones from back home. This became a symbol of women's contributions in wartime. The Point Edward Red Cross Society had its beginnings sometime during the year 1916. Unfortunately, those initial meeting minutes have been lost. The Point Edward Red Cross Society raised funds for yarns and textiles to make socks, pajamas, sweaters, etc. for the prisoner of war boxes and for the war effort. They also used the funds for soldiers' comforts, such as candy bars, cigarettes, sheets, pillowcases, toothbrushes, soap, etc. Funds were raised through socials, raffles, dances, penny bags, donations from individuals and local businesses, and many other activities. After the war, the Point Edward Red Cross Society had to refocus on home issues. Women who worked during the war now found themselves unemployed. Soldiers returning home had little or no means to support their families. The Point Edward Red Cross set up nurseries, created well baby clinics, made home visits, offered home comforts, and offered reduced cost meals for those in need. The costs were 25 cents for adults, 10 cents for children. Dances and social events were held to help promote a sense of well-being. Health nurse training programs were made available. Junior Red Cross was promoted at the schools. The dedication of these women, men, boys, and girls of Point Edward during these trying times was remarkable. The Point Edward branch of the Canadian Red Cross officially closed its operations at year's end 1926. The actual meeting minutes of the Point Edward Red Cross Society can be seen at the Point Edward Public Library located at 220 Michigan Avenue, Point Edward. The Canadian Red Cross was there to support our boys throughout the war effort. Seen here are some of the soldiers that became part of the 149th Battalion, leaving from Ferry Dock Hill in Sarnia.